So those who are lucky, they will make fortune out of it, and hundreds and thousands lost.
Okay, so we are not talking about
periodicity.
No sir, what I was saying is, you
you
assume.
the principle of Shantanu
You assume that
it's an investment.
He is not.
I'll clarify.
He is not qualified under what?
Yes. Okay, I can clarify. There is no credit risk. By credit risk, what I mean is, see, fluctuations come from two reasons. One, there is market risk, like stock market products, or currency related products, or real estate products. And other risk is that, forget all the fluctuation. जिसको पैसा दिया था, पैसा लेके भाग गया. I am not talking about पैसा लेके भाग गया. पैसा लेके नहीं भाग गया. So now, can we just take a vote? How many of you will go for the option giving 8%, and how many of you will go for the option giving 10%?
Can we have competitor?
Sorry, sir.
Group today. Yeah, I'll have a portion of the investment.
He is right.
The other portion is
depends on
some parts.
Depending on
Partly.
both the way.
Growth rate of the economy. He is talking about the portfolio or management, but another thing for 8% or for 20%, choice between these, we should think about the growth rate of our.
Sir, I have not given you any information right now about whether it is linked to economy, not linked to economy. Nothing.
I do not
just
put
Otherwise,
money in one basket.
That should be to some extent speculative activity.
Okay, I take it. But the net point that I'll put in 8 or 20. Everybody is saying that I will do some evaluation and I will divide my money. Some money I will put in 8%, some money I will put in 20%. Because that is how real life actually works. Even when you do business, see, some of you may be businessmen here. When you do business, you deal with different parties and different customers, correct? There are some people, sometimes you make a deal with them where you say that, look, I have supplied 100 rupees worth of goods. Even if you give me 105, it's fine. I don't want to be greedy, I don't want to take risk. But there are sometimes you do some deals we make where we say that, okay, if 100 becomes 90, it's fine, but I also hope that it can become 130 or 140. We all do these kind of deals even in our normal business, right? So the reality is that it's not about not taking risk. A lot of time people say that I don't take risk. And let me explain to you what happens when you don't take risk. You have to take a calculated risk. Now what happens when you don't take risk? See, everybody actually, some of you must be using, going to the, what we call gymnasium or health club. Everybody must be used to a treadmill, right? You must have seen a treadmill. So why is it that people start perspiring and supposedly burn a lot of fat when they run on a treadmill? What is the reason? The reason is that you have to run really hard to be in the same place. Correct? You keep running and you run really hard to be in the same place. That is why it burns up so much of your energy. And in real life what happens is that if inflation rate is 8% and 9% and you are in this illusion that I don't take risk and I am happy with 8% or 9%, then whether you like it or not, in real life you are on a treadmill. So we, all of us, we have some occupation or some service or some profession. We don't do all of that so that we spend our entire lifetime running on a treadmill. Why do we work? Why do we earn money? Because at some point in time we have a hope that our standard of living will improve. As time passes, the standard of living will improve. But instead of your standard of living improving, if you are going to have to work so hard just to maintain your standard of living, then basically in real life you are on a treadmill. So the main point is that you don't have a choice to say that I don't take risks. Okay? That decision has already been made. You don't have a choice. Unfortunately, it's the hard fact. It's not the fact which I like. It's a hard fact. Don't factor in which you don't calculate. That is anyway destroying your money. So instead of suffering from an unknown risk which you are not willing to accept, it's better that you take, like he said, it's better that you take some known and calculated risk. So at any point in time, you should be very comfortable and you should have a knowledge that if I have 100 rupees of mine, out of this 100, 60 or 70 is such that I cannot tolerate any up and down. But you will always have 10, 20 or 30 such that if the 20 becomes 16, it doesn't hurt you, but someday there is a possibility that that 20 can become 30 or 40 also. So you always need to give that chance. And then I have written this fourth point where I have said is that a lot of times people say that I am very unlucky in investing. Sometimes people say, "Mera to naseeb hi kharab hai, I am very unlucky." Right? Have you heard people saying that? Whenever I make an investment, it doesn't work. I am very unlucky. Now, the fact about luck, whatever I have read and whatever I have understood, and there are many people who are more experienced than me, they can probably corroborate it. The fact about luck is that you can't say that you are lucky or unlucky. The only thing you can do is you can give your luck a chance to work. Correct? And for that you need some preparation. Now, if you are going to test your luck by putting the entire 100 rupees in the option which was supposed to give you 20%, then it is very high probability that it will be proven that you are unlucky. Okay. But, and there are these what you call Murphy's laws also. Right? But out of 100, if you have made all your homework, all your calculations, and said that okay, this 60 is for this purpose, the other 40 is for that purpose, and 40 becoming 36 is fine, then you will not, then there are chances are that you will not feel that unlucky. And I'll give you a more exaggerated example. See, a lot of times what happens is, people when they are investing, more often than not, they have this habit of what we call experimenting. So instead of doing some scientific calculation of how much money I need after 10 years, at what rate should it be saved, and in which instrument it should be saved, how much should I save every month so that in 10 years I reach the amount that I need. Instead of doing all these scientific calculations, more often than not people tend to actually experiment. And now I'll give you a very exaggerated example of experimentation. Let us say that on a given day you go to the race course. Like, you know, betting is not actually investing, it is 100% speculation. There is a difference between investing and speculating, and investing and betting also. Right? Betting is 100% speculation and probability, whereas investing necessarily has to have some calculation and science behind it. And investing has to have some fundamental beliefs, whereas betting and speculating may not have all of those. But I'm just giving you an example. Let us say that there was a point in time when you were to go to the race course. Okay? And I have actually, let us say somebody has given, you know, in mythology they give this vardhan or they give a blessing. So let us say on that given day I confirm to you, I tell you that you have gone to the race course, you are betting, and there is a blessing given to you that today you will definitely win. Correct? And you, if you are given that blessing and you believe it, what will you bet? What would you bet? So on a day when you are most likely to win and you have been given a blessing, if you bet 100 rupees and the 100 becomes 200, whose fault is it? You should have. So what happens is that when you make an investment, or even if it is a speculation, the basic point is that you need to experiment. First of all, you should not be experimenting, but the more important point is that there has to be some substantial stake in it. Correct? Lot of times what happens, like I give you example of 8% and 20%. The other thing which happens is, people may have 90 or 95% of their wealth in the 8%. And the 20% option, more often than not, is just a flirtation or an experiment. And then what happens is, even if it works, it doesn't work to your advantage, or it doesn't help. Hence, I said that all the calculations are very important. So on a day, you know, so what happens a lot of times, when you go and place a bet and you had a blessing that you will win, if you don't bet enough, that blessing is wasted. Then there is no point in even thinking whether you are lucky or unlucky, because you are unlucky even after winning. Okay? That's why I started off by saying that when it comes to luck, there is science there also. You need to give your luck a chance to work. It can't be haphazard or it can't be random. Correct? So unlucky or lucky has nothing to do with investing. It has got to do with some amount of science behind it. The next point is investing your own money versus going to an advisor or a professional. So what do all these, your financial advisors, mutual fund companies, portfolio management companies, what do all these people do? Why do you need these people? So all these people, like in our nowadays, it's the word which people easily understand is outsource. Correct. So what happens is, you know that if your car stops working, you go to a mechanic. You don't sit and repair it yourself. If you have a health problem, you don't administer drugs and operate yourself. You needless to say, you go to a doctor, and more often than not, a specialist. Within medical practitioner, also a specialist. If you don't know how to file your returns, you go to a chartered accountant. And needless to say, if you don't know everything about the law and were you to be in a legal situation, you will go to a lawyer. So for everything we have service providers, and we outsource everything. But unfortunately, when it comes to managing money, people become a bit emotional. People become a bit sensitive about it. People generally feel that when it comes to managing money, I will manage my own money. I will handle it myself. Now, has everybody seen, there is this Hindi movie, I don't know if you watch Hindi movies or not. Have you seen this movie called Munna Bhai MBBS? Everybody has seen it. Okay. Do you know there is this question, so Boman Irani, he's a reputed doctor, he's a surgeon.